Ooh, so many fun things to do. We're gonna check the audio, make sure the audio doesn't sound terrible, and then I'm not gonna lie, I realized I wasn't gonna do my book notes this time because I was like, oh my god, I don't have time to do book notes. I've already spent so much time trying to just get everything set up, and then I got distracted, and it's a whole thing. I have time to do book notes, but then I opened my book notes so I had something to like look at, so I had something to reference as I am talking. And you know what? The book notes are cute. The book notes are cute. Can I crop this in? Is the question. We're just. Is there not a crop button? I know there has to be. Option, transform. How do I crop the thing? Oh, I can see. Okay, I can see changes happening. Coco, sorry, my cat's being brat. Man. Climbing in boxes and whatnot that she knows she should not be in. Little mother's having technical difficulties. What's 500 back? Yeah, I think we'll do 500 on each. And then let's try to get everything according. Shrink a little bit. Yeah, I was looking at my notes because I use my notes. I reference my notes when talking and discussing these books. And I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, it's super cute. Oh, I just realized also I'm probably not gonna have this in full screen. Did I just break everything? I did break everything. Can I don't even know if you can hear me well. I don't know what the volume and the audio balance is right now. But that's okay. That is okay. Can I reset it? That's fine. Coco, stop. Okay. Crop right 100 pixels and crop left 100 pixels, and that is better. That is better. Cool. Now I have to check and make sure the audio is balanced because we never stop. There's never not something to double check. I'm about to fight this cat. God, has it been that long since I've streamed? I'm about to fight this cat. Okay. Give me 30 seconds to fight this cat. I'm gonna go put her in timeout, and then we'll be back. I said a whole speech. I give a whole speech, and you couldn't hear any of it because I forgot to unmute my mic. Because I'm doing great. Basically, it just said cat is in timeout. We still have one other cat that could be. We have one other cat that could end up throwing a tantrum, causing fights, and everything hinges on him. I have 4 cats, but there's only one more that's like prone to tantruming, and so we'll see how this goes. We'll see how everything goes. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to balance all this audio, and it'll be great. Everything's gonna be a-okay. You're just gonna hear my fan though. That's just gonna be a part of the experience. Yeah. Is that even my fan? Why is my fan so loud? Granted, it is like behind me, but it's so loud. I don't think there's anything else I can do much for that. I don't think so. I think this is basically as bad as I can get this fan. Oh, maybe we can fix the fan noise. Maybe we can. The problem is that it makes me quieter too. Fixing the fan noise makes me and so we'll have to figure out. That's the wrong direction. That is the wrong way. So we have to see. It's a balancing act, and my music's not playing anymore. It's supposed to be playing. Everything is just. Everything's happening. Everything's happening. It's the favorite part of the stream, is the part where I fight with everything around me to make it work. See? You can't hear me no more. You can't hear me. Mic is so low. Keep this game. Oh man. This might be. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get louder, but we might just have to chill out with the fan. I guess I could turn on the fan. It's just definitely hot in my room. I appreciate having a fan because I am. It's humid, it's hot, and I don't know if AC is going to be an option anytime soon, but the AC would be just loud. Everything. Chicago, man. Okay. Okay. So let's see. I think this is probably like the final. This is probably what we're gonna end up going. This kind of vibe. I think we're good. I think we're gonna go with something like this, okay? So then I'm going to actually start reviewing a book now. Wild concept. Salutations, friends. My name is Brianna Bond, otherwise known as No Ordinary Scholar. I flipped everything over so I need to be on this side now. That's something to get used to too. I am here with you today to talk about Take a Hike by Mimi Grace. This book did not leave the biggest impact on me. Let's get into the actual description, breakdown, summary of the book. So we have our main character, Raven, who is like a free spirit type of gal. She goes where her heart takes her. She's not too locked into anything. She loses her job as like it seems like she worked at a catering service for rich people, and she lost her job there. And that same day, or extremely like that same day, that same week, like something very around there, right? She gets told that someone passed away and leaves her this lodge, this wilderness facility, adventure facility, something to that effect, leaves it to her in the will, and she's like, this is destiny, I'm gonna go down. Silas is the person that actually works there, that everyone thought would actually get it, and he's truly the person that actually deserved it. He is very like hyper focused, very tunnel visioned on this place and on working at this place. And he offers Raven money so he can buy it, but she doesn't take it. She decides she wants to spend the summer there working and like getting to know the place, to see if she wants to keep it and continue being the boss, or if she wants to sell it. They fall in love, and that's basically, both of them end up leaving the lodge place. That's basically the end of the story. That's truly the end of the story. That is truly a summary of what happens in the story. It didn't feel like there was a ton of depth to it. Like, I had originally given this 4 stars, but then as I was like sitting down to write, I genuinely just didn't have great things to say about it when reflecting on this book. There were some funny moments, but like, and there was some good writing, but I don't have a ton of notes for this book, and I don't have much to say throughout the book as it goes. And so we are going to talk about some of the things that bothered me in the book. For instance, it felt like there was a lot of wasted time in this book, and the book already the book already wasn't super like substantial in the writing. I personally don't think the writing style was for me at all, but the writing itself wasn't super, I want to say like voluminous or thick, but like substantial is like the word that I mean. Like, the writing itself doesn't, like, the writing did feel decently shallow. And so then on top of that, you have so many instances of the book that are just feel like time wasters. Like, there was a point in like leading up to the climax where you have all of these like misunderstanding types of things building up, but none of them make sense. Like, or none of them mean anything. So you have like 3 different plot lines that they bring in that don't really mean much. One is one of them is Raven starts looking for homes to buy in the area, and then eventually Silas finds out, and he's like, oh, so she might permanently stay, and that makes him kind of question his role there. But you basically just kind of get a single paragraph of him even like thinking, processing that like those thoughts. Like, that's it should have been more, and especially if it, because that's supposed to be like a major character moment. I feel like I needed more, but it was more just kind of like a paragraph of him oh, this might be just it, what does that mean for me? And there's just not much exploration with him on that thought process. Then you also have Raven, who's like, I'm gonna sell. I have to sell this place, and it's like the thing I need is to sell this place. And then the like guy comes back and is like, oh, actually you don't own it. Like, actually you don't own it. It was all mixed up. Like, we didn't need both of those things. We did not need her to go through and she's like, I don't want to fall in love with this guy, so I'm going to sell this place and get out of here. We don't need her to go through that process and then to cut her off, really, by having a third party kill the whole thing. Like, that felt like we got to the same point, but like the result we ended up having killed the development for her. It was there was a whole storyline of some other guy having a crush on Raven, and that literally went nowhere. I don't like that. Didn't feel like atmosphere. That didn't feel like character. Like, he existed exclusively to remind us that Silas was an archer and to flirt with Raven. And like, it felt like that guy was useless. That guy was just not a strong character. And but like, we came back to him a couple times, and it was just, why? It felt like it was supposed to be building up a tension of like, oh, is he going to make Silas make a move? Nothing. And then there was actual genuine redundancy in the writing. Like, there was... let me see if I can find it in the text. There is... oh, I guess it's right here. This quote right here, the bottom right. There's a lot of... they have a conversation, and then the quote, like, he explained what had gone down, their faces falling before settling into their expressions. Like, there's a lot of, here's the scene, and then the next sentence is, and now I explained to everyone what just happened in that scene, or some, like, shortened version of that. And I feel like we don't need that. I feel it feels like micro narration to have a conversation and then repeat and then later on explain. Like, I took a minute to explain to everyone what we had just discussed. That feels like micro narration, and again, it felt very redundant. There was also this example. Where'd it go? Where did it go? I literally have something just highlighted and marked redundant in these notes, and I can't find it anymore, which is rude. Don't you just hate when you take notes and then your notes just disappear on you? I do recall... oh no, it was kind of a waste of time, not redundant. My bad. There's this scene here where it is the one on the right here, where Silas is having a birthday party for his niece and nephew. I don't know which of the two men is his brother. He's like, I don't know. They're two guys. Truly, there's one line in the book that makes them seem like they're not supposed to be interchangeable, but like, I have no idea which of the two men is Silas's brother and which is his partner, and I don't know. But there's like this section where they're having a birthday party for Silas's niece and nephew, and like, things start going wrong, so Silas calls on the team to help. And this is genuinely straight out of the text. This chunk of text is, Raven hasn't shown up yet. Isaiah said after a while, no, she got the text through, but at this point we don't need her help. Silas said casually, but if he were truthful, he'd admit he was relieved she hadn't come. The last week of interactions between him and Raven had mounted to a series of stilted sentences after another. He didn't need that on a day like today. The doorbell rang and Isaiah abandoned his place at the sink to answer it. Silas barely registered his brother's departure until he heard her voice. Like, we didn't need a paragraph of has she come yet? No, she hasn't come yet. Here she is. That type of stuff was so irritating throughout the book. And there was also, I feel some of this, like, points of, as well, the character interactions. Like, there's a point where Raven gets skunked. She gets sprayed by a skunk, and Silas takes her to his house because apparently there's, like, 0 showers at their lodge or whatever. Like, people are doing outdoor activities all day. No showers. You don't even have a shower so your employees can, like, bathe before leave. There's no shower at the lodge. So he takes her to his personal home, and they're talking, and, like, the conversation just feels like filler. And I end up skimming through a good chunk of it. And I'm just gonna say, this last thing, I think this is, like, the last quote I want to share of things I didn't like. We'll share some of the, like, fun quotes that were in the book, but it's gonna be this one in the middle. I'm so upset about this line. So it's at this point in the book that Raven was, because she's been going and hanging out with every employee. She's technically the boss for this duration of time. She's going with every employee and is seeing what they do, seeing their job, shadowing them. And she is now off with the mountain climbers. She's with them, and then they're trying to, like, leave the spot, I guess I'll just call it. They leave this, like, hiking spot that they go to, and the kid is like, oh no, we left the first aid kit, and Raven's like, oh, I'll go back and get it, and she gets lost. And this is Silas's point of view of us figuring out that she did not come back. And Silas asks the kid, did you see her come back? Silas asks as something slow but persistent began to press at his chest. I thought she did, the teen said, pointing to a first aid kit sitting on the counter. That one's mine, Doc said, and the atmosphere shifted with those words. Something was wrong. No shit, something is wrong. I was genuinely so fucking irritated that the words something was wrong just occurred, just existed. Like, you call this woman, she hasn't showed up. She hasn't showed up to her fucking desk. Her bags and shit are still at her fucking desk, so you know she hasn't left. She's, again, not answering her fucking calls. And you just found out that she had gone back. The last time anyone saw her was her going back on her own up a hiking trail. She really doesn't know that well. She's obviously we know she didn't come back. Something was wrong. That was genuinely, like, I would have slapped Dora the Explorer if she had told that to my face. No shit. That was just so irritating, such a waste of my fucking time. Am I supposed to believe he couldn't figure out? He genuinely had to take a second and be like, wait, I wonder if something's wrong with all of these pieces being put together. Because it wasn't me. I got there. I figured it out. The second she said, she said, I thought she came back with first aid kit. Doc said, that one's mine. I feel like that right there, that is synonymous to something is wrong. So we didn't need that extra sentence. Why am I getting so mad? That was terrible writing. That was just bad writing, and I was very upset. But let's look at some of because I didn't hate all of the writing of this book. There were some fun moments. Let's see if I can find. Let's look at some of the fun quotes throughout the book. I like this moment. It is also here in the middle, we have these two quotes. This is also around when she gets skunked, and they're trying to, like, they've before this been extremely tense and extremely irritated with each other, but they're trying to squash that for the sake of not making the atmosphere terrible for the other employees working there. And one of them, I forgot who, it doesn't matter, one of them says, the best I can do is upgrade you from mortal enemy to asshole. You join the ranks of my third grade teacher and ex and people who don't put shopping carts back. I was at mortal enemy level. I only had you at bane of my existence, he said, his own smile emerging. There. And then, like, 2 minutes later, one of either his brother or his brother's partner shows up at Silas's place with them, and Raven, and he's like, how did that go? And, like, how are you two doing? And Raven says, well, I'm the bane of his existence, and I think he's an asshole, so better than last week. And, like, so, like, that's funny. That's cute. There was also... Okay, so... Okay, so I still don't know which one's the brother and which one's the brother's husband, but Victor is the one that, like, walks in on them and is like, how are you guys doing? And then Isaiah is the other one. And now Silas is talking to Isaiah, and Isaiah is like, so Victor told me about you guys about her being at your place, and, like, he's just like, well, Victor said, and Silas is like, Jesus, did he perform a monologue? And I was like, that's funny time. Okay, this is another thing I didn't like, but, like, I feel like this is a great example of, like, when I say the writing felt shallow. There's a description, they all are going to a concert, and the only description we get of them is the group dressed as if attending different concerts. They walked into the small building. That tells me nothing about what anyone looks like. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it's like this would be a cool line if you described anything about what anyone looks like. Otherwise, I don't know who looks like what attending what concert. I just know they dress fucking different. That's not a really thorough description. And it leaves me this is one where it feels like it's kind of shoving in my face the fact that I don't really know much about this book. That the fact that this book is not describing or telling me much and is leaving me needing more from the story. But again, back to good things we liked. This is after she and Silas hook up. He'd spent the entire night with her. God, she wished she'd slept a little less soundly so she could remember the cuddling. Like, that's cute. That's super cute. And, like, there's this line towards the end of her describing, like, after she has left, it's the very bottom left, after she has left the area, she goes back home after they've been told, like, she actually doesn't own anything. And there's the line, she'd done all of that and she was still discovering the depths of her hurt nearly a month after leaving Cedar Lake. It was as if she'd left a beach thinking she'd dusted off all the sand on her person, only to find more hiding in the folds of her clothes hours later. Like, that's a good line. I just feel I did not get enough out of this book. And it's like, because what was the book I read before this? I'm trying to think. Or actually, I might have been thinking of Hijinks and Honeydews, where it was another book I felt like I was missing a lot from. Not nearly as much as this book. I still very much enjoyed Hijinks and Honeydews, but like, it did again feel like it didn't, it, like, I was just missing so much from this book but like, I think comparing like, and thinking back to the fact that I had like recently reviewed Hijinks and Honeydews and didn't like that, I was starting to be like, do I not like romances? It was just a question, like, do I not like romances? I could have sworn I've read romances I like, and I have. So I like literally went through my sword draft and was like, oh yeah, I have a shit ton of romances I liked. It was just like, I just didn't like this one, and that's fine. It wasn't for me. Someone else can enjoy it, though. We'll see. I did look through reviews of this book, and I found that uh people thought this book wasn't as good as some of their other books in this series. So I might check out one of those before I like give up on this author. But at present, I just not it was just not for me. I don't hate it. I don't regret reading it. It's just I'm going to forget about this book next week. Like, the only thing I'm holding on to is having like gone through these notes. That's really what kind of kept it up in here. But it did not leave enough of an impression on me. It's not going to stick with me much. But yeah, that's all I had to say. That is my review of Take a Hike by Mimi Grace. If you're looking for ways to support me, I also write books. Those are linked down below. Hopefully you like them. We'll see. You have to read them. You have to read them to see if you like them or not. So, links down below. I also have this channel. I have a vlog channel. And that is basically it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Valedictions, friends.